college basketball. Allen Fieldhouse here in Lawrence, Kansas. Always a hot ticket. Today, even hotter as 16th ranked Texas Tech has entered the building. One of the teams hoping to knock Kansas off its perch atop the Big 12 in town. A look at the updated standings in the Big 12. Kansas actually matching their worst record in conference play entering the month of February during this incredible run that they've been on under Bill Self. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Lawrence alongside Bill Raftery. I'm Spiro Dedes. So, Bill, here we go. Kansas looking a little bit vulnerable. Questions, could be this the year that their streak comes to an end. This is a big game.
This is all about defense, something I had trouble spelling, by the way. So I think it's all about offensive rebounds and turnovers. That'll be the key.
1-3 stretch for Kansas has knocked them out of the top 10 for the first time this season. And now suddenly they're shorthanded. For more on that, let's say hello to Seth Davis.
That's right, Spiro. Yesterday in practice, Kansas sophomore guard Marcus Garrett, who is a starter, been playing really well for them, injured his left ankle. X-rays last night were negative. He actually came to the arena hoping maybe he could play. Just too much pain. He's in a boot. He is out for this game. They're calling it a high ankle sprain. The coach is telling me they're hoping to get him back maybe next week. We know for sure, not today.
All right, Seth, as if Bill Self didn't have enough on his mind, now you have to think, Raf, even more on the plate of Dedrick Lawson, one of the best bigs in the country.
Unbelievable understanding of the game. I mean, beyond his years, he's not going to out-jump a lot of people, but he's so clever. Uses both hands well, got a great touch, steps out and makes shots, and occasionally he may out-rebound and out-elevate people, but he's really smart and intelligent about his approach to the offensive end of the game.
Well, meantime for Texas Tech, just a couple of weeks ago, this team was sputtering. They lost 3 straight, but back-to-back wins over Arkansas and TCU, and they have righted the ship. And the coming-of-age rap of the sophomore from Lubbock, Jarrett Culver, has been incredible.
What a talented guy. I'm looking forward to watching him more. He can fill the stat sheet, as our pal Clark Kellogg would say. Has a great feel for the game, has a pace about him. I'd like to see him become more of a volume shooter.
Rap, what about our AT&T fast analysis?
Well, the ability to post up is something both clubs have. On one end, the screen across gets Culver in a really vulnerable spot. He can elevate over people, but what I like about him, he can step outside, break you down a little bit, elevate enough for that pull-up jumper, a little nylon by the guard. Everybody loves him. How about the understanding of what to do with your footwork? The balance of the defender is off. That's his favorite move, the drop step, but also his understanding of where to go. Anybody takes a shot, he carves out an area. Washington is so tough with his hustle and understanding of the game.
Well, it is one of the truly great venues of college basketball, and the stage is set here in Lawrence, Kansas, Texas Tech, next on CBS. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored. Okay. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Try our game day menu. Got it. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Try our game day menu. The first ever Lexus UX. See your Lexus dealer. And by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Hallowed ground of college basketball, Allen Fieldhouse, as we get set for Texas Tech and Kansas. Mentioned the injury to Marcus Garrett, the sophomore, one of Bill Self's top defenders. And so LeGerald Vick, who actually came off the bench in their last game last week against Texas, back in the starting lineup. And Ochai Agbaji will continue to start for the Jayhawks as he makes his second career start. There is Garrett on the bench. The place is juiced. And we are ready for this top 25 matchup.
College basketball at its best. What an atmosphere right now. Texas Tech, Red Spirit, they just go a little bit of it.
Texas Tech won here for the first time in their program's history last year. Just over a year ago to the day, had lost their first 17 appearances in this building. What does this day have in store for the beautiful setup by Vick, and then Lawson on the little tap in.
It all started with Dotson going baseline, kick into the corner. You've got to reverse the ball somehow. Texas Tech does a great job of isolating you on one side of the floor.
This is Davide Moretti, the sophomore Italian national, out of Matt Mooney, the graduate transfer, and here's Culver.
They do a great job with their motion, curls, fades, little ISO here.
Dotson, a very good defender, a freshman. Mooney, tough shot on a fadeaway. Offensive rebound underneath. That is Lawrence Odiase.
And that is big. Any extra possessions. I just love Kansas at practice yesterday with their terrific man-to-man defense. And obviously Texas Tech under Chris Beard just magnificent on this end of the defensive end of the floor.
Shot clock down to 10. Here's Mooney. That was deflected by Agbaji. Now to Mooney with 5 to shoot.
Drive him.
Mooney right around Lawson. Everything but the finish.
Tough kid. He plays well. They seem to excel. Mooney. Nice little bite.
Lawson doesn't really play above the rim, but so skilled. One of the best bigs in the country.
He becomes one of your favorite players when you get over 50, as I have. Plays old and intelligent.
Only player in the Big 12 Conference averaging a double-double. At 19 and 11, here's Tariq Owens.
He can bite you with the 3 once in a while. Had a banker last game.
Dotson, this is Agbaji.
Boy, he has been an energizer for this team. Since becoming eligible, they're going to redshirt him early January. They made the switch.
Yeah, they burned his red shirt, didn't become eligible for Chris Beard until the 9th of January. Just under a month ago. What a contributor he's been quickly.
But as a bookie out, they really needed some bodies. This is nice pull-up. Boy, that looks like the open. Little pull-up, get those puppies organized and drill it.
Jarrett Culver, 18.5 points per game. 3rd most in the Big 12 Conference. Had some big moments in his first ever appearance here last season.
Boy,
that is Vick.
When he lights it up, he can get 6 or 7 of those. And occasionally he's been disappearing. What a great beginning of the year. I'm just shocked how well he played. And lately, they just need that spurt again.
Mentioned that he come off the bench in that last game against Texas. Only the 3rd time this season. As Bill Self trying to jumpstart his senior. Culver's shot. No good, and here comes Lawson.
Look at him step out. Boy, he's showing you everything, isn't he?
Showing you every tool in the toolbox in the early stages.
Well, they got to lift him, too, I think. Owens is playing outside there. He's not coming out after him.
Red Raiders have missed 5 of their first 6 shots.
Oh, nice play defensively by Dotson.
A jump ball is called. Possession arrow favors Texas Tech.
Well, there's a lot of reasons to like this guy, number 23. Boy, that's a familiar number. MJ, little pull-up jumper. And Vick, a guy, when he lights it up, boy, that just opens up things for everybody.
There's Chris Beard. What an incredible run it has been for him. Just 3 years into his tenure at Lubbock. Incredible run to the Elite 8 last year.
He is a coach. Would you agree?
Unbelievable.
Boy, he does a great job with his program. These kids really buy in. All about business.
Shot clock down to 2.
Nice catch.
That was Edwards with the pass. Basket no good. It's a shot clock violation.
You expect to see a lot of those if we take a look at Coach Self. Now, this is just stellar defense. Yesterday at practice, Kansas really got after getting a little 2-3 zone now. They will switch periodically. Now they go man. Well, it can be confusing against Texas Tech.
Obagi wasn't quite set. Back to Dotson, the freshman.
And that's how they get the ball side to side. Excuse me, Spiro.
Obagi from deep. That's a 3.
How about that? That's what you'd like to see more from Dotson, too. Get in the lane. Penetrating 5.
There's Bill Self, the Hall of Famer. How about this? Kansas in this building coming off a loss under Self, 49-3 since he took over in 2003.
Yeah, they don't lose here. You got to play your best.
Three-pointer, no good. That's Brandon Francis, the redshirt senior from the Dominican Republic.
And he can make him, though, 29%. Look at his spin. He loves it.
Dotson textbook, but the play by Owens to get a fingertip on it.
Nice run by Owens here. Drags the bigs to the basket.
Culver from deep. And Texas Tech really struggling from the field now, 1 of 7. As they have missed their first 3 from deep. Early stages in Lawrence. They are juiced up. 8-point Kansas lead.
Mark, could you get audio to give me more of me? And then also the ISO is out. Just as the game started, it went out. Mark. Okay, and then, yeah, that's better. Are they working on the ISO too, Wolfie? Okay. I don't know.
Are we going to Seth here, were you going to say? Mark? Right. Okay. Okay, but we're not doing Seth. Okay, gotcha. Sure. Hey, Wendell, can you give me a little bit of my mic as well? Just a little bit more like Raph?
Yeah, it's much better. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Ooh, that's too much. You can lay off a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, a little bit less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 1, 1. Yep, that works. Yep. You know, Wendell, just, yeah, that's fine. I was just going to say, put it back to where it was. Now
You got it. You got it. Perfect.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Monday on CBS, it's the Campus New Comedy starring Cedric the Entertainer and Max Greenfield. Come on over to the neighborhood. Monday, 8, 7 Central, only CBS. There's Bill Self, 2 straight losses. Haven't lost 3 straight games in 6 years. Have to go all the way back to February of 2013. And Raph, it seems like we've been here before. You know, questions about maybe Kansas being vulnerable. Could this be the year that their incredible run in the Big 12 comes to an end?
Well, this league is so tough. They are vulnerable, no question about it. You know, I would say Iowa State, to me, would be the team right now. But so many things can happen going down the road. But the key is to go inside and drive KU.
Kyler Edwards Then blocked underneath, but the Red Raiders able to take it back. Here's Edwards, a freshman out of Arlington, Texas.
You can see the motion here. A lot of this is Bob Knight's fingerprints. Because was an assistant under him. Listened, followed a lot of his edicts. They're usually very active. Occasionally will ISO. Nice denial here by Vic.
Boy, Vic has played well. He's struggled for the most part this season in terms of the expectations. Culver right to the rack.
And nobody helped out at all. Vic could not regain position. You've got to help. A little hand hedge helps your partner. The other thing is doubling the box, too. I think you'll see a little more of that by Texas Tech. Lawson stepping out.
Wow. Another three for Kansas.
Owens a little bit tardy. Got to respect this kid.
Jayhawks have hit 2 of their first 3 from deep. And I'm not sure Bill Self could have hoped for a better start. This is Culver from downtown. Back of the rim and over the glass. It goes back to the Jayhawks.
Well, you can't pass up shots, but this little run down here, you can see Vic never gets in position. They stay at home in the corner and don't help out, but big fella stepping out. Get them organized, a little nylon, showing you his total game and contribution.
There's Culver. What a season, what a contributor he was for Chris Beard during that run to the Elite Eight last year. Obviously, we'll need a big game from him.
Look at this mismatch here.
This is Grimes, who has struggled with his shot.
Yeah. He's really struggling from deep. He's got to provide a lift with the bounce, maybe.
Fresh 30. Here's Vic getting him set. Dangerous pass broken up by Francis.
Boy, that distance, not a good look. Not good judgment.
There's Mooney. Sealed off by Grimes. Moretti from deep. That's good.
Able to knock it down.
Davide Moretti, career high 21 points against Arkansas last weekend. He's shooting 46% from deep in conference play.
He's got a good fielding and keeps his dribble alive, almost like Steve Nash does when he gets in the lane.
Here's Obagi, dribbles around Francis. Back of the rim, no, but a blocking foul. That will put, I believe, Obagi on the free throw line.
I don't think he's been this open since he left Italy, do you? Just look at nobody knows where he is. Nice little kick out. Get him organized. What a nice addition. Of course, you know, Chris Beard was the Swiss national coach and has contacts over there as we take a look at.
That's Udoka Azubuike, the starting center for Kansas, who went down with that unfortunate hand injury early January. Had to undergo surgery, was hurt in practice. Such a huge loss at both ends of the floor for Bill Self.
Well, it changes the way they play. I mean, they're such a high-low inside impact team. Just inside-out shots, but they don't possess that. This is not a great passing Kansas team, nor a great outside shooting team. So they got to manufacture points off the defense, be aggressive on the glass.
Well, it's been a hard stretch for Self, not only with this 1-3 stretch that they've been in, but the injury to Azubuike, and then yesterday the big NCAA ruling with Silvio De Sousa, who was ruled ineligible the rest of this season and next. We'll have more on that a little bit later with Seth. Mooney, beautiful up and under, able to create contact and free throws for the Red Raiders.
It's great to see guards doing that.
There's De Sousa on the Kansas bench. Bill Self vehemently protesting. Didn't pull any punches in his comments yesterday with Seth.
Well, and this is my problem. Basically, is 2 things. One, it's a bad rule when you can have a guardian being catered to by a third party, and you as a youngster. Do you know what happened, and you're responsible for it? The other thing was the damning 2 years. I mean, I could look. It's been most of this season. So hopefully they're appealing, and maybe there'll be a little more understanding. Because I worry about this young guy. What if he's not good enough to play at any professional level? There's no schooling basically for him. It's just a tragic situation. Well,
technically, he will have 1 more year of eligibility, but that won't be till 2021. They will appeal, as Rap just mentioned. But De Sousa, key contributor for them down the stretch last season for a Kansas team that went all the way to the Final Four. This is Vic from deep.
How about this? Charlie Moore keeps it alive and finds. Pretty good defense by Mooney. A little dish by the little guy.
Charlie Moore, the transfer from Cal, dropping a dime to Vic.
They're going to go a little bit deeper. I think Kansas give everybody a little bit of shot to contribute.
Deshaun Corporal has come in here for Beard. Culver out of the double team, finding Edwards from deep. And Texas Tech struggling from the outside.
Well, just catch the ball. You had a layup. Nice little cut.
Here's Culver slithering in. Nasty. Wow. And the call here, offensive against Culver.
Yeah, well, listen, the restraining area, I just think the ability, second foul, but look at this aggressive nature. Wow, a bang-banger not going Texas Tech's way, unfortunately. Number two. That was atrocious. That was a bad call. That changes their game, you know.
Yeah, it was good. Good ref.
Right.
1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3.
They're not real deep either, Texas Tech. Corpue maybe will come in.
Yeah, just a smidge, just a very little. Okay.
What about Wolfie? Still moving. That's brutal. Okay. I have one question, Wolfie. You don't hear my talk back? Not too. No? Oh, I was just saying. Okay.
What are you saying, Bill?
I think Seth's got stuff on the social. Yeah, you know, get it out of the way. Yeah. I'm upset here. Terrible call up.
Tomorrow, it's the biggest event of the year. Tom Brady driving the Patriots into their third straight Super Bowl against a young team with a young quarterback, hoping to carve out their place in NFL history. The Rams and the Patriots. JB, Phil, Coach, Nate, and Boomer will get you everything you need before kickoff with the Super Bowl today, beginning at 2 Eastern on CBS. And our countdown clock winding down to Super Bowl 53. Ref, are you prepared now to make your prediction, or should we wait till a little later?
I gotta ponder, as they say, but Culver is just a very unfortunate call and not a good one, I didn't think. Little 2-3, they trap out of it.
Could be a big turning point. Potential three-point play negated. There comes Moore. Dangerous pass. It's intercepted by Mooney, and then Moore is whistled for the reach-in foul. So how does Texas Tech psychologically now navigate with Culver on the bench?
Defensively, I think, Spiro. It was a great move by Mooney. Weak side coverage, knowing the penetration and the help. Just ideal. Here, maybe run some more of their sets. They run a little, some guys call it an elevator. I call it a squeeze box. Double screen. They keep active.
Here comes Mooney. Last couple of years at South Dakota. One of the terrific scorers.
1,300 points, I think, right? Amazing.
Well, they need something from him here with Culver, their bench player and leading scorer, on the bench. That's Lawson too much back of the rim, and a rebound taken by Corprew. Fans wanted a foul.
Texas Tech very good at picking up charges. They really anticipate your maneuver. Odiasi's got a little hook game. Nice hand swipe.
Odiasi gets it back. Lawson, another defensive gem.
Both ends of the floor.
Here's KJ Lawson, Diedrich's brother, getting in on the party.
That's how you extend the bench, too. KJ getting some minutes now. More of a perimeter player than his brother, but effective. Texas Tech needs use the clock, extra passes, even if it's a shot clock violation, unless it's a real good one.
Nearly a turnover as Kansas revving up the defense.
Well, we talked about his footwork, but how about his hands? The ability to swipe, become active, and brotherly love at the other end, huh? Get him organized and drill it.
The Lawson brothers sitting out last year after the transfer from Memphis.
I think Tubby was down there when that all occurred. That was a tough Tubby Smith. Nice slip. And look at the coverage, though. Got a foul over the top.
Ref, how about Chris Beard coming back with Culver here? 2 personals and still before the 10-minute mark.
That's
rolling
trust.
the dice.
That's trust. Don't you think? Guy that'll use his head, maybe tell him not to drive. Don't get as deep. And particularly on the other end, if I were Kansas, I would really drive him, see if we can get him involved. And if he's in, use him.
This is Owens.
A little America's play, screen to screener.
Moretti, another 3, and he is fouled.
Oh, that helps the cause there. KJ overzealous on the closeout. This kid plays well. They are a different team. He and Mooney combined and just stretches that D, opens up driving lanes and a little nylon.
Moretti out of Bologna, Italy, was among the top international guards back in the 2017 recruiting class of college basketball. Really is now settling into that starting point guard role for Chris Beard. And what a massive play here. 4-point play to make it an 8-point game.
He's playing with great confidence. Not gambling on that trap. Wow, how about that for confidence, breaking his guy down. The closeout was right there. Corprew was in his lane.
Ralph, I'm not sure anyone saw this coming from Vic.
That he can be scintillating and every once in a while gets a flat tire.
Here's Owens, left open. That's good. So Texas Tech now starting to settle down. And you see Moretti trying to get him charged up.
Straight up man. It can be confusing. That's where you need Dotson to make good decisions. He can blow by anybody, can he?
Incredible first step.
He actually leaves fumes.
High school All-American out of Providence Day School, born in Chicago, raised in Charlotte. Another triple for Texas Tech.
Well, they are playing with a lot of confidence. The 2 guards really complement one another. They try and push one way here defensively. Quick jack. How about Vic again? Just play. Just play. We don't need the signals.
So the quick answer after the Mooney 3. And what an offensive display by Kansas. 10-point lead as we come up on the final 8 before halftime.
Sorry, Spirit. Nice coverage.
That's Corprew. Nicely done on the setup, but couldn't finish.
Sure was. A little sellout there by Vic.
Grimes dropping a dime.
Nice penetration, huh?
Ralph, Texas Tech just can't figure it out with its defense.
They like to force it baseline, but they didn't get the coverage from the weak side. A lot of guys like to force to the middle, and Chris said he did. Look at this. Fade away.
Tough shot from Culver. Long rebound. Dotson, and here comes the freshman. That's a pull-up 3, well short.
Nice check out. Ooh, got to get those hands out of the way. The 2 fouls.
Jared Culver, the leading scorer, 3rd leading scorer in the Big 12 Conference with the basketball, playing with 2 personals.
Don't take bad shots, this Texas Tech team. Nice little fade screen. You can make that.
Owens thought about the 3.
Nice pass to the correct hand.
Culver from deep. And they are struggling from downtown now. 3 of 9. Obagi couldn't put it down.
Got to finish that. What a nice look by Dotson.
Last touch by Kansas, and Texas Tech will have it when we come back. 12-point game on CBS.
Mark Adams does their defense, you know.
Yep.
And he put get him out. So whoever didn't cover on the baseline, they don't move
really?
around.
They
Yeah.
don't mess around, no.
Okay. Vic Obagi. Okay. I'm wrong on the points. It's going to be more than I thought.
Yeah.
Right?
Those handicappers know what they're doing.
They know. Yeah, you're right. I told you what Chuck Daly used to always say in the morning. He used to look at the paper. It was 2.5. You know, 6 is his favorite. He'd walk on the street. They know. They know. We can't win tonight. They know. They know.
Yeah.
What? He would do the same.
Hey, Bob, Lawson's getting his hand worked on. I don't know if you see him at the end of the bench. I think it's just blood. Okay. Game summary at the 7:14 mark before halftime, and the three-point shooting, Mr. Bill Raftery, has been the story for Kansas.
And when you look at Texas Tech, they cover that three-point shooter pretty good, 26% they permit, but wide open opportunities. Vic, Obagi, you name it. Lawson stepping outside. Lawson & Lawson, a profitable law firm in the Lawrence area. Just stroking it, but not typical attachment by Texas Tech.
There's Lawson, was getting worked on, perhaps a cut on the inside of his right forearm. Nothing serious.
Some pretty impressive numbers by the Jayhawks, huh?
I guess the biggest surprise when you look down at the stat sheet has been the Gerald Vick. We know how hot he can get, one of the top three-point shooters in the conference, but he hasn't had quite the impact that Bill Self and this program was hoping and thinking he would when he withdrew from the NBA draft and made that announcement before the season.
Well, early on he was ringing the bell, but he hasn't been consistent. He's got to play at this level. I mean, he really helps raise the hopes of others and lets them contribute a little. And you got to get out on him, opens up passing lanes.
He's right at his season average, makes 3 threes a game, most in the conference. Look at Culver, incredible first step.
A nice little deployment too. 5 out, the blow by, spread D, couldn't cover. So much for my low scoring insertion. These two teams are wide open. Not too many transition numbers, just good half-court stuff.
Shot clock at 10. Here's the freshman Grimes, puts it on the deck. Outside to Moore, the California transfer, back of the rim, no good. And Culver tracks it down for the Red Raiders. Texas Tech back-to-back wins after that 3-game losing streak. 1-1 against the AP top 25 this season. Looking for their second straight win in this building, something that no team has done. You have to go all the way back since 2000-2001 at Iowa State. It's a three-pointer from Edwards, no good. And they're still cold from the outside.
Yeah, terrific ball movement. I think they got to attack a little bit more, get a piece of the lane. And Grimes has got to go to the rim, I think. Not a great deep shooter, but he is strong at the 10.
Kansas, the preseason #1 ranked team in the country, as Moore slithers in for the easy deuce.
Again, no cover. That is surprising on the baseline. They force it, but you've got to respond off the ball.
Kansas alternated between the top 2 spots in that AP poll for the first 7 weeks of the season. We're trying to figure things out. 2 straight losses and a 1-3 stretch. 0-3, no good. Rebound, Dotson.
Settling.
Here comes the freshman, lightning quick. Rafi puts so much pressure on the defense. And a whistle against Texas Tech as we throw it over to Seth.
You guys are talking about LeGerald Vick. I met with Bill Self yesterday. When he came back to school after withdrawing from the draft, Coach Self sat down with him and drew up a contract of all the things he would have to do to maintain the standards of the program and really be at his best. This is a team in Kansas that has really struggled offensively, especially shooting the ball. When Vick is making his outside shots, everything else falls into place. You see what they're doing against a team that's ranked #1 in the country in defensive efficiency. When Vick is out of it and not shooting well, the offense stagnates. He's a hugely important player, off to a great start today.
He sure is. No question about it. Getting a little blow right now. It is amazing with kids, though. Sometimes you come with the energy and positive thoughts. And a lot rests on him, particularly with the lean front court.
You know, Vick said he thought he had played his final game for Kansas. Obviously did some soul searching, went through the process. And a good start for him here as he will catch his breath. 14-point Kansas lead as we come up on the final 5 minutes before halftime.
Well, Moretti really good with the ball. Only 1 turnover a game, being ragged by Dotson. This is an energized defensive club now. Look at this kid. Nice look.
Incredible setup. Whew. That's great. Owens on a forceful put down.
Boy, great handle to set it up, blow by, and draw someone. An attractive delivery.
Jarrett Culver, Lubbock kid who grew up in the shadows of their campus. Speaking of dimes, more to Obadji.
Culver got caught napping a little bit on that end. I guess you got to live with it when he's that good, but generally Texas Tech responds.
There's a 3-pointer from Culver, too much. Long rebound, Francis. Shot clock resets for Texas Tech. Moretti's been hot from deep. Reset to Culver.
He's pretty good getting in the lane, too.
Moretti. A little bit short. Rebound, Obadji. Boy, Bill Self has to be asking himself, what were we thinking redshirting this kid?
Absolutely.
He's been incredible.
What a welcome addition. Tough one there, I think. Quick. He's very good getting in that lane. Stick with it.
We hit the 4-minute mark before halftime. One thing Chris Beard told us last night, they knew this place was going to get charged up as Francis finds his spot.
Nice
Offensive
job.
rebound, Evans.
Good job screening off.
How they handle this crowd will be a huge factor.
How about yesterday? Oh,
Culver, and he's fouled.
Nice little hesitation as Lightfoot got airborne. How about the ability around the rim? Look at that handle. Same hand change. Send it in, big fella. The other end. Caught napping. You paid dearly. Big time. Elevation. They look like a different team than when we played Texas. They're not normal.
Let's do Beard a little bit. You know, I want to talk about Culver. You know, Beard and then Culver. One thing he told us about the kid is as he shoots free throws. Maybe just give us Beard. Sure.
Yeah, he's a team. Just to get it out of the way, you know, it's like, yeah, that was good. Good time. He got a lot of minutes out of Culver, didn't he? He hasn't come with McCormick at all, has he?
No.
So much for my prognostications.
Yeah, I'm not going to listen to your pregame anymore.
Yeah, you shouldn't. He went deep, though, KJ and Moore. Obadji's like a guard, too.
Tomorrow, catch a special all-new Late Show. Steven's got Conan O'Brien, James Taylor, and surprise guests. All-new Colbert tomorrow on a special night after your late news. 12-point lead for Kansas, 3:40 to play. There's Chris Beard, who actually made his first coaching stop, his first ever job, 90 minutes up the road from where we are here in Lawrence, I beg your pardon, at Fort Scott Community College. Raph, it seems like he's coached in every state, every level. One of the great young rising coaches that we have in the country.
Oh, big time. He's got great recognition amongst his peers. Of course, a student assistant at Texas under Tom Penders.
That's right.
Right? Way back, and of course, trusted assistant for Bob Knight and then Pat. And them getting them back on the map. They are a tough out. They're not playing defense the way I would expect or anticipate it. Would you agree?
Certainly till this point. But one thing about this team, they have taken the personality of their head coach Beard. They are tough and they are gritty.
And all business.
There's Dotson on a deep three off to the right. Boy, was that off the hands of Edwards? And it was. Tough break. Kyler Edwards, a freshman.
He knows how to score the other end. A little early three against TCU. Trying to steal some time. Culver on the bench.
Culver picked up his second personal early in this game. He sat for a brief stretch. But Beard has rolled the dice, and now Culver walking back to the score table.
Look at the pressure he puts on with the dribble. Oh, they covered pretty good.
Obadji is blocked. And this will be an offensive foul against Obadji.
Good call. Once you go airborne, don't jump stop. You pay the price. This is just much better coverage. They chase him to the middle on this one on the cross-court pass and setting up early, helping his partner. Solid play.
Well, we just can't get over how good this kid Obadji has been. Again, they burned his red shirt. Wasn't eligible until the 9th of January. This is his second straight career start. And only the 7th game of his collegiate career. Had 24 in their last game. It's a loss at Texas. Third most points by a Jayhawk in their first appearance under Bill Self. What a future he's got in front of him.
He's a good offensive rebounder as well. Those threes against Iowa State. Mixes his game up pretty good.
So
the big thing I believe that Bill felt is just some enthusiasm he brings to the floor.
Culver back on the floor. Shot clock at 7. Here is Davide Moretti. Tripped up inadvertently. Beautiful cut by Francis. Leaner, no. Rebound Vic. Everything has been tough for Texas Tech. Grimes from deep. Get it!
If he can do that. What a lift. Chris Beard with the quick timeout. All because of the little guy able to put it on the deck. Mesmerized with the bounce. Suck in that defense. Get him organized. Big time. Drill it.
Watch your sports news without the hot takes. Stream CBS Sports HQ. It's the free 24-hour 7 network. For more highlights and analysis, download the CBS Sports app today.
And early in the year, Grimes had 21 against Michigan State on 14 shots. And everybody's expectations soared. And I think a lot of times don't get that comfort zone.
Well, if you've just joined us, Kansas 56% from the field. They're 7 of 12 from deep. And Raph, they're doing this against the #1 field goal percentage defense in the country.
And they say defense carry. We look at the numbers right there. There's knocking shots down, mid-range and deep.
It's funny,
they're good.
Time we start throwing dirt on Kansas, they punch back. This is Moretti, too much on a 3. Rebound, weak side, Grimes.
And no offensive second opportunities. I like Grimes challenging Culver, though.
That's
Owens just fell asleep. Forgot to stay in contact.
Biggest lead for the Jayhawks.
Well, they are feeding off this crowd, too.
I haven't seen this too many times this season against this Texas Tech defense. You saw that last graphic. Second 3 for Lawson. This is Mooney. Slithering baseline. Beautifully done.
How about that? Drew back with the bounce and then exploded by. Big, strong shoulders at the rim.
Mooney, one of the most sought-after graduate transfers after last season, his second at South Dakota. Started as a freshman at Air Force, so his 3rd stop of his collegiate career.
Keeping him on one side of the floor. It is a pretty good defensive set right now.
Shot clock at 7. Here's Vic, 3 of 3 from deep. It's a long 2. Not even close. Offensive rebound. Lawson, boy, what a bad break.
2 seconds
Texas
left.
Tech. A reminder coming up, AT&T at the half. And with the Super Bowl just one day away here on CBS, Seth Davis out of the studio and here with us here in Lawrence. He will take a look at some of these Super Bowl predictions from college coaches around the country. Plus, we'll hear from JB and the guys down at Atlanta. Preview of tomorrow's big game, Super Bowl 53. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half.
It's nice not to be in a hotel room looking at Seth. Here with his son, too, having a good time. His son whipped him in one-on-one yesterday.
We watched that. Young Zachary.
Yeah, Zachary.
Taking it to father.
As it should be.
As Lawrence Odiase comes back into the game for Chris Beard and Texas Tech. Odiase, the redshirt senior, another Texas kid.
Well, that rebound, too, you don't have the vision when it doesn't hit the rim as a defensive team. One goes to the rim, one lingers. Nice catch.
Odiase blocked. Lawson got a piece.
He is all over. Fingerprints. Nice kick back and a wide open. Woo! They are loaded up. Sometimes on a fast break, it's not the initial attack. It's the kickback secondary. Now this kid, I felt all year, one of those to be considered player of the year. Back where he was, I think. Didn't have a good Texas game.
Well, the Red Raiders right now are taking one on the chin with 20 seconds left before halftime.
Back to little zone now. Pointing out. Got to seal the rebound if you're Texas Tech. Little stop. Take a breather. Ooh.
Moore finds his spot. 5 seconds left in the half.
Oh, he got just.
Here's Culver, 1 second. We'll count if it goes. As that takes us to halftime here in Lawrence. A 20-point Kansas lead at the intermission. What a start. College basketball coverage is sponsored by Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. Buick, proud partner of the NCAA. And by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing. Take a look at the Lexus first half stats. Hard to believe, 20-point Kansas lead, largest deficit that Texas Tech has faced this season. Most points they've given up in a half this season, and the three-point shooting has been incredible, as has this kid, Dedrick Lawson.
How good is he? Remember the song YMCA? That's the way he plays. I mean, he just bedazzles you with his footwork, his understanding again, whether it's the left hook, the threes, just sort of old-time religion. He knows the game.
Spiro Ditas, Bill Raftery with you courtside. We'll hear from Seth in a little bit. This has been a little bit of a surprise.
It's sure. They've lost their identity, Texas Tech. I mean, they hang their hat on that defensive end. Their schemes are excellent, but they're giving up baseline and not covering, not getting back quick enough and tagging the three-point shooter. They're forgetting the trail man and Lawson. I mean, we watched practice yesterday and you watched them play. You had them in the NCAA tournament. They are tough-minded. They are not this first half, at least.
We know how gritty this team has been under Chris Beard. Let's check in here with Seth.
I spent some time with Chris Beard after practice, and he told me that when he's recruiting players, the number one thing he looks for is, do they love the game? He said if we didn't get them on the bus right now, these guys would stay in this gym all night playing 2-on-2, 3-on-3. He ends practice with a one-on-one game between the strength coach and the grad assistant. He's going to need that attitude now coming out in the second half and moving forward, because to have a team score 46 points against a coach who emphasizes defense so much is really not a whole lot of fun.
You know, Seth, we would have stayed in the gym all night as well. I'm not so sure about our producer and director. They had other ideas in mind.
Raf, we watched that practice yesterday. That may have been the liveliest practice I've ever watched.
Absolutely.
Covering this sport.
That's why I'm shocked a little bit. They didn't come out with that same juice and fervor.
They had country music blaring in between drills, but it was incredible to watch. Hasn't quite translated so far here today as Grimes misses on the three. That
set starts it right. Good D and check out, dribble drive and find some people.
Mooney dropping a dime to Odiasi inside, and there will be free throws here for the big redshirt senior out of Fort Worth, Texas. Significant role last season for Chris Beard, starter in 29 of their final 30 games to that run to the Elite Eight.
And Odiasi is not a back-to-the-basket great offensive player. Only gets 4 or 5 points a game. So they've got to find a way to get to the rim and either find somebody on a kick or finish the deal themselves. And I think they got to get back to their motion. Screen, curl, become a little more active on the offensive end.
Told you about Texas Tech. Got their first win ever in this building here last year, January the 2nd. We're 0-17 before that one. As Odiasi comes up empty, Owens the offensive rebound.
Need possessions. Nice little screen by Mooney.
It's an open three. Desperately needed that. And another offensive board. It's Owens again.
That's a pretty good start. Good defensive stop and then hitting the glass on this end.
Jared Culver on the floor. He played 18 minutes in the first half despite picking up 2 personals very early. Odiasi.
Third one. That's got to be they got a timeout?
They did.
How about that? Culver really alert, but aggressive. I think they were talked to at halftime, don't you?
Timeout on the floor. Early stages, second half in Lawrence. Sure. Okay. Who is Raf calling the game with? You know where you're working next week? I'm not. Tom McCarthy.
Wow. That's the other thing he said. He was going to send more to the offensive glass, remember?
Right.
And he did maybe the second half. That was one of the things he talked about.
Next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern on CBS. If the tournament started today, find out which teams would be the top 4 seeds in the 4 regions of the NCAA March Madness Bracket Preview Show. Then on the road to the Final Four, number 7 Kentucky collides with number 22 Mississippi State. Tom McCarthy will be out there in Starkville with Bill with the call there. What a start for these two. Gerald Vick, who had been slumping a little bit, came off the bench in their last game for just the 3rd time this season. 3 threes in the first half.
And they didn't have any juice, I thought, in that Texas game. But boy, these two guys have just lit a fire. Pesnik Tech getting after the offensive rebound. Something they said they would do in the first half, but they did do a nice little play and no finish, but a foul. Oh, they're saying over the top.
No foul.
Well, great design. Pin down and curl. Owens unable to finish the deal. Tennessee, St. John's, and now with Texas Tech. Gives them some interior defensive ability to block shots, too. The weave to get it to the center of the floor and then go.
This is the freshman Dotson on a big 3.
They're trying to speed it up a little bit. Boy, that defensively is not in the right spots.
Kansas now 10 of 17 from distance. Odiasi unable to put it down, but he'll have more free throws. He missed 2 a couple of moments ago.
A nice little job here. This is just simple. Dribble, weave, extend. Everybody gets lost. I mean, that's just not great communication by an outstanding defensive team. And they give up 56 points a game. And goodness, plenty of time left. Kansas is at 49. That is not typical of this well-coached team.
Odiasi really struggling at the free throw line. A couple of substitutions now here. Kyler Edwards, the freshman, back in. And Deshaun Corprew, the redshirt sophomore, Virginia kid out of Norfolk. Chris Beard looking desperately for any kind of a combination.
Well, Corprew's pretty good driving and finding people and gathers for a little 17-foot jump shot. Then you think it's got to come from the defensive end.
Texas Tech mentioned that 3-game losing streak before the back-to-back wins, entering this one today, knocking him 2 spots in the AP top 25. Currently it's 16th in the country.
Real good job sealing. This is the end that's caused the problems. Unable to finish. Nice pass.
Odiasi is bumped.
Lost it. That's not a bad idea. Go inside. We know he's not a prolific scorer, but make this guy play both ends of the floor. He has been just knocking him. A nice show, and of course the recovery is just a little bit late. That wall up, which we've seen so frequently throughout this season.
Non-shooting foul, so Odiasi is replaced.
They're playing small, really. Owens is sort of a 6'10" wing.
Brandon Francis has checked into the game. Another shooter for Chris Beard.
Nice screen to get Culver a look.
Boy, Culver changed his mind. Edwards had his back turned, and another Tech turnover.
And a great play by Dotson. He got up and challenged that shot. Oh,
Kansas gives it right back. And Raf, you just get the sense that if Texas Tech is going to make any kind of a push, Culver is going to have to put the team on his back.
Well, this is what we talked about earlier about him taking more shots and more opportunities. That was one of them. He's going to have to do that on a frequent basis. But their motion has not really done a great job getting them free. Little curl off the horn set.
Here's Francis lobbing to Owens. Vicious finish.
Nice little peekaboo there on the side of the eyes. Edwards.
Well, might that play jumpstart the Red Raiders? They have been dominated so far by Kansas. Dotson getting the screen high from Lawson. Well challenged by Owens. Here comes Edwards. The freshman pushes. This is Corprew. And more free throws for the Red Raiders.
And again, not finishing the deal. Just a beautiful little well-designed play. They start out with a horns look, the little roll, a nice vision, and how about that stretch, big time, with the strong send it in.
Owens expressing himself, and suddenly the Red Raiders getting to the free throw line. Haven't been able to capitalize. 5 straight misses at the stripe. Well, the most amazing acts from every corner of the globe on one stage. It's not just America's best talent, it's the world's best. James Corden hosts the premiere right after the Super Bowl tomorrow, right here on CBS. So Corprew goes 1 of 2.
But his averages are at 58% from the free throw line. That hurts him. You've got to, when you stop the clock, you got to convert those babies to get back in. Look at his blow by. Woo! Great help. Conversion at the rim. Nice pass.
Culver. Incredible pass. Corprew was out of sorts, however. Now to Owens. And he goes glass.
Where they look like a different team right now. The one thing about Culver, he gives it up easy and early. A little push. They're trying to speed the game up. It's helped them.
So Owens with a couple of big buckets here. As the Red Raiders showing a heartbeat.
Nice pass. Right.
Masterful.
And always available, huh? Lawson, I mean, one of those kids, he just has a knack. Presenting himself.
What a pass by the freshman Grimes. Francis thought about it. Fires.
Nice rebound.
Corprew. Boy, they have owned the offensive glass here in the second half.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do. That was one of the keys for their team. They'll get back and transition after a make. That is just not typical of this club.
Raf, biggest difference first half to at least till this point of the second half has been the rebounding.
Rebounding, pushing the ball a little bit, being a little more aggressive on the offensive end. They got to handle the dribble handoff, the weave of Kansas. They were getting decimated with the breakdown.
So here is Ochai Agbaji. Second straight start, first 2 starts of his career. Only the 8th game that he has played as a collegian. We've told you about his story. Initial plan was that he would redshirt, then the injury to Udoka Azubuike. Bill Self had to reshuffle his roster. They burned the red shirt. Has been eligible since the 9th of January. Big 24-point game in that loss at Texas.
He's been a revelation, don't you think, for this team? Plays with a lot of juice, joy. You get to he loves, covets the opportunity.
Raf, every season kind of takes on a mind of its own. Could he be a critical piece for a team that went to the Final Four last year and is looking for a 15th straight conference championship in the Big 12? Incredible.
Lawson really helping everybody out because Odiasi's not a threat outside. He's jamming things up on him under 8.
That's a step back 3 from Culver.
That's his game.
Odiasi. And more free throws. Kansas won't mind him at the line.
No.
He's missed 4 straight. All Kansas up 19 here in Lawrence.
Yes. Man, 73%.
Yeah. No, he's 0-4. 4 of 10 as a team. Just as you're making a run, you miss 4 free throws. Killer. On Diedrich. Third foul on Lawson.
Oh.
Bob, I don't know if you want to font that. Third foul on Lawson.
No sugar. No sugar.
Oh, okay.
Remember the guy at the meeting seminar? I started to use it.
I got the same one. Yep. It's a new flavor, though. I like that, Billy.
I like the red. Yes.
Sure. Guys, second half rebounding numbers, 12-2 Tech.
Making Lawson work a little bit too.
Bill, let's revisit our AT&T fast analysis.
Well, you just saw so many good things when they get in the lane happen. Whether it's by the touch or the dribble drive, you see the kick by Dotson. And terrific footwork, perfect pass in the pocket. Puppy's organized. And what a difference. Of course, going at him has helped a little bit. Attacking that glass, number 3.
Bill Self will sit his star. Third personal on Dietrich Lawson. Here is Lawrence Odiasi, who's not a bad free throw shooter. 73% on the season, but he has missed all 4 so far, and they've all come here in the second half.
Trying to muster a little activity. Good offensive work on the glass. So clock is stopped. Convert.
Odiasi, who redshirted as a sophomore, missed most of that 16-17 season with a broken foot. Kid who has really transformed his body during his collegiate career. And a key piece for them last season and so far this.
Automatic switching on the perimeter.
Here comes Grimes.
Nice help.
Swallowed up by Odiasi.
Good help there by Edwards as well. Good coordination there. They really struggled in their teamwork, covered for one another.
16 seconds to shoot, with Kansas holding a 17-point lead. Told you about the Jayhawks, back-to-back losses, haven't lost 3 straight in 6 years, all the way back to February of 2013.
McCormick here, they duck him in. Oh, got to be better with the basketball.
What a play by Odiasi, getting his hands dirty.
Look at him run the floor too. McCormick just a little bit late to duck in.
Corprew will reset with exactly 5 minutes gone by second half. Here's Mooney, the graduate transfer from South Dakota. Trying to probe the defense, finds an opening. Corprew's pass actually hit the bottom of the glass. They turn it over. Dotson, and he's headed to the free throw line.
He is a jet. Shorten the floor with the pass. It all starts with great defense for good teams. I think he got an easy one. They collapse, solidify, and then the kick out, the shoulder turn, body search. Little guy finishing the deal.
Well, that look from Beard says it all. So much to handle with this Kansas team as Corprew takes a seat. So here's Dotson, the All-American high school star out of Charlotte. Actually a high school teammate at the prep level of Grant Williams. Of course, the stud
here. He's having it to this day.
Tennessee.
Oh, goodness.
Kansas, speaking of Tennessee, the only team that's beaten the Volunteers this season.
I think Dotson made 2 big clutch free throws against him, too. Nice help by McCormick.
Tough shot. Culver unable to follow his own miss.
They want this guy to help. I think by the end of the year, next couple of weeks, nice play on the picking up the charge.
Boy, Moore had to pass as he just about left his feet. Dotson had his back turned, and the Jayhawks turned it over.
When you do play fast, crazy things can happen, but they have been effective in the early transition. A big concern of Chris Beard.
Kansas, as we told you at the top, 5-3 in conference play, actually matches their worst record in the Big 12 entering the month of February during this incredible run they've been on.
Look at that help, though. Over the outstretched arms of McCormick. Pretty good D again.
Culver now 4 of 14 from the field.
Don't count this team out. You know, Baylor's playing great. We mentioned Iowa State earlier. Nice pass.
What a play by Vick. And McCormick just couldn't squeeze it. Here comes Mooney. Showing the handle, then knocked out of bounds by Obaji with still 26 to shoot.
Yeah, pretty good transition defense, too. McCormick a little bit of a blow now. Lightfoot comes in. People are rooting for this kid.
So McCormick sits, the freshman. And Mitch Lightfoot, the junior out of Gilbert, Arizona. We got some minutes for them last season down the stretch. First time we have seen Lightfoot in this game. Meantime, Owens comes in. Told you about Kansas and the injury to Azubuike, the season-ending injury to his hand in a practice early January. And so Self has had to go a little bit deeper onto his bench. Owens, another offensive rebound.
He does a great job sealing his guy. Really, it's almost like checking out in reverse. And there's the big fella, Doak. No more lobs, no more excitement, unfortunately for him and Kansas.
That injury to Azubuike really changed the dynamic of this Kansas team. But could this be the statement game they were looking for? Moretti. Yes, it is. That's exactly what they'll say. The intentional whistle against Obagi.
I never had a good vocabulary. Go with the intentional. Flagrant 1, 2, and an opportunity to get it back.
So Moretti at the free throw line, and then possession for Texas Tech. Could this be the turning point that they're looking for?
Pretty good play by Culver. Jammed things up there on that dribble exchange.
Moretti, one of the terrific free throw shooters in the conference, 90% entering this one today.
Tough little kid. He has not been able to get in the lane and do some damage, too.
Playing some of the best basketball of his collegiate career. Touched on his 21-point performance, the career high last weekend against Arkansas. Had a 7-assist game in the victory Monday against TCU. Most of his career. And he's been lights out from deep in conference play. But they need a whole lot more where that came from, down 16 points.
Get back slowly. Get good shots. Oh, look at this. They can run that beautifully.
Boy, what a play by Dotson.
Pretty good cover. They run a little bump off the high post. That horn set. Usually get well prepared, well scattered. You can just see this little bump, bang, and that's the delivery. But just a little show by Cormac and a terrific recovery at the basket.
And Raf Dotson has been so good in this game. He kind of dipped with his production in conference play. He's been incredible. And a big contributor. Vic, a rare miss. Rebound Francis.
Numbers here. Oh, nice play.
Oh, Baji the steal. Full ahead of steam. Swatted by Owens. And then Vic is there, and he is fouled.
I love it, though. Owens didn't give up on the play. I mean, make him earn it on the free throw line. Well, now we got a basketball game. I think at least the energy level. Everybody's in it now.
Looks like double technicals assessed as Francis pleads his case for Texas Tech. Himself is hot.
I thought he should have given up to Vic earlier. Then this wouldn't have happened. But a great use of the glass, a la LeBron. And this is terrific hustle. Don't give him the easy one. Make him work for it at the free throw line.
Owens, the St. John's transfer, who was 8th in the country last season in blocks. Towards the top of the Big 12 so far this season, as now the officials will go to the replay monitor wrap just to make sure there wasn't anything extra.
Maybe not. I hope not. I think he just played. No, they're not. Bill's a little upset. It was a giveaway, but not what you call a flagrant 1.
All right, so officials have confirmed it. And Gerald Vick at the free throw line.
Package this. Gerald, different player, and this is a different team, obviously, when he performs at this high level.
So Francis, who was involved in that last little skirmish, will take a seat here for Chris Beard. You see what Vick has done. Most of his damage from the three-point line. It was Vick and Francis assessed the double technicals, and now we move on.
With Dotson guarding you, really protect the ball. Moretti very good in that area.
Well, can the Red Raiders punch back? Here's Edwards.
Baseline bump, part of that motion. Nice catch.
Underneath to Owens. Beautifully done by the freshman.
Terrific penetration by Edwards. Got it on the money with the delivery.
Edwards actually their 5th leading scorer, showing his playmaking ability. Here's Moore. Underneath. Lobbing for Abachi.
How did he do that? It's unbelievable. Outstretched. Not a perfect pass, but a counter with athleticism.
That was filthy.
Intentional foul again.
Looked like a tug at the shirt on Dotson.
Wow. A little cheeky here, but how about the lob? Go get it! Send it in. Great organization at the 10. That was crazy, huh? That kind of foul.
Tugged his shirt or something, but
They say he pulled it. Yeah. Why would you do that? You got it going pretty good, too.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford.
No, I'm just saying, I think I would come back with him at this point. Let's see if they do. He's at the end. He's not on the bench. Maybe a couple of more minutes. They're holding a pretty good lead. I don't think he's coming in, though. I see him at the back. He's probably just waiting.
Sure.
That's what I was saying before. It's really ridiculous. It's the same thing, you know? Two shots. Terminology, flagrant one versus intentional.
So 2 shots.
2 on the ball.
Yep.
But flagrant one, they go.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford proud. Allstate, are you in good hands? And by Pizza Hut, official pizza partner of the NCAA. Some of the great football players who have come through this incredible university. Aqib Talib, who will represent his Rams tomorrow in Super Bowl 53. Might he have the answers against Tom Brady?
And how about this? Somewhat shocking. Just amazing. The struggles. But they look more like themselves lately, I think. Being tougher defensively. Just a silly foul. 3 foul. I guess you can't blame Bill for resting him, though, with the 3. Probably has a number in mind, whether it's 15 or 13. If they gets that close, throw him in. Make sure he doesn't get that 4th foul.
That last whistle against Devon Dotson was actually ruled a flagrant 1. Official said that he didn't make any attempt on the ball, so it's 2 free throws and possession for the Red Raiders.
That's why Bill was a little bit upset, too.
Already able to hit on both, so it's a 16-point game. There's still plenty of time left.
No question. Gets a little bit closer. I think you'll see number 1.
So Bill Self in the midst of this incredible 14-year run as Moretti. What a difficult shot deep in the corner.
Unbelievable.
And that turns out to be a 5-point trip.
Buongiorno. Goodness. Double screen to the corner.
Young man from Bologna, Italy. There's more going glass. Owens clears, and suddenly Texas Tech with a pep in their step.
I'm just thinking this, the hop of the step. Again, look at this step.
Traveling violation.
What a nice pass. Boy, Moretti showing me something. It's a worldwide game. Just look at some NBA basketball. They got a ton of guys around the world. Not only can make shots like that, but make plays and understand the game fundamentally.
Rob, it's amazing, you're right, how many international kids have really left their imprint on the college game. We've certainly seen it at the NBA level. Getting better and better year in and year out. Here's Vic.
What a nice little scramble defensively.
KJ Lawson, that's a 3 too much. Boy, Texas Tech has owned the glass after they were really out-rebounded in the first half.
Here comes Lawson for that reason, too. Nice little run by Texas Tech, showing some toughness. Don't finish there, though.
Well played by KJ Lawson. His brother Diedrich waiting to check in at the table. Dotson, a little bit of contact, no whistle. Kansas will have it with 20 to shoot. And here comes Diedrich.
The magic man in this building. Big thing is now get him some touches right away when he's in the game. Get him a feel, get him an understanding. Sometimes you sit, you lose that energy boost.
Look at this
Aaron
throwaway.
pass. Boy, how did Obaji track it down, but he threw it out of bounds right in front of self.
Well, what great defense on the inbounds pass. Covered the one, covered deep. And good defensive teams make it impossible. No free outs when you play Texas Tech.
Obaji lucky he wasn't whistled for a foul there as he tried to fend off Culver. Texas Tech, who was down by 23 points in the first half, trying to fight their way back.
Culver looking for a ball screen.
Culver just 4 of 15 shooting, third leading scorer in the Big 12 Conference.
Nice
and he's
steal.
struck by Dotson. The freshman speedster going glass.
And Mooney wants a push off, but he's fortunate he didn't get a foul. But some toughness personified on the rake on the drive. That was a pivotal play right now.
Moretti from 3, well short. This will be a rebounding foul against Tech.
Boy, who wants it more? Look at this help. Just rake in and out. The toughness, keeping that head up, making sure he's got vision on the rim. And Mooney very lucky he didn't get the foul, but what a ball game by Dotson, too. Both ends of the floor.
No doubt. Dotson, one of the more impressive freshman point guards in the country. That's an open look at a 3 by Grimes. Speaking of freshmen.
When he lights it up, what a compliment to Dotson.
Boy, Bill Self has been waiting for this kid Grimes to find some consistency. A massive 3 there. Mooney. Offensive rebound, Owens.
Doing a good job. Boy, not good defense at the other end. Get that open look by Texas Tech.
Moretti picks up his dribble. Now to Mooney. Still plenty of time to shoot. Mooney finds a spot and hits.
Nice job. Quick timeout.
From Mooney, only his 3rd field goal. Tech trying to stay within striking distance.
It's amazing how they didn't have this toughness in the first half.
Sure. Sunday, February the 10th on CBS. Don't miss the Grammys with live performances by Diana Ross, Cardi B, Shawn Mendes, Miley Cyrus, Post Malone, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Alicia Keys hosts the Grammy Awards live Sunday, February the 10th on CBS. Post Malone, one of Bill's favorites.
I had a few chili peppers for dinner last night. With a little lemonade, I might add.
Spiro Ditas, Bill Raftery, Seth Davis, our producer Mark Wolf, Bob Fishman, our director, rest of our terrific crew here from CBS. Seth Davis, by the way, very upset with you at halftime. He says he did beat his son Zachary in the one-on-one here yesterday.
He was
said
fouling
that
his
was
son
fake
with
news.
he's got a broken hand. He's posting him up, raking him.
Take it easy on his young boy.
Look at this
Obaji, beautiful
again.
setup to Lawson. It looks like Obaji's hobbled here.
Another.
So an 18-point KU lead.
He's a likable player, isn't he? Obaji.
Second straight start. First 2 of his career.
There's that little curl up the down screen and a walk.
Offensive foul. Looked like an illegal screen.
How about this little lob? Didn't get too deep. Odiasi does the fall, but anytime you get in that lane, some magic can happen.
Late substitution here. Avery Benson, a freshman out of Springdale, Arizona, will check in. First time we've seen Benson in this game. Southwest Christian Academy product. And Francis takes a seat for Chris Beard.
They handled that back cut beautifully on the post entry at the elbow.
Obaji. Off target and a whistle blown. This will be against Benson and Texas Tech.
Well, that really scrambles your defense when they drive it and kick baseline. It was pretty good coverage, but eventually you're out of sync, can't check out, can't cover.
Here's Quentin Grimes at the free throw line. Talented but slumping player, a freshman, high school All-American in the Houston metro area, College Park High School. This is the front end of the 1-and-1 here with KU now in the bonus. Mooney attacks the cup. Outside Benson. Three-pointer won't go. Owens, who's been a demon on the offensive glass, couldn't squeeze it. And it goes back to the Jayhawks when we come back. 18-point lead for Kansas on CBS.
Okay.
Got it.
They have another run, do you?
Culver's just
a little silence. That's what he does in some games, you know.
hasn't scored in the half.
Well, some games he just disappears.
Yeah.
That is the problem with motion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're running over screens and like you don't get a chance to.
Mark, if you want maybe a lower third coming out of the timeout, Jared Culver has not scored in the second half. Maybe season average, second half, whatever.
Allen Fieldhouse, please welcome back Jayhawk alumni for the 1991 and 1993 Final Four teams, Patrick Ritchie. And 2008 national champion, Sherrod.
Let's get you our Jersey Mike's game summary. The three-point shooting has been a huge factor. Jayhawks have led by as many as 23. We're up 20 at halftime. Tech has made a push, but freshman point guard for Bill Self-Dotson has put together some kind of a game.
Mr. Outside, whether it's the drive, great finisher at the rim with either hand, body searches when he has to, not afraid to take a hit. And here, gritty, tough, hard-nosed, just taking it. Going wire to wire. This kid has got great speed.
Point guard out of Charlotte. And you just wonder if the Red Raiders have one more push left in them here. They're down 18 points. Had cut it to 12 just a couple of minutes ago. And curiously, Raf, Jared Culver just hasn't had the impacts we expected. Their leading scorer, better than 18 per game, hasn't scored since the intermission.
That's my one complaint, which I uttered earlier, is that I don't think he hunts shots. And he is so good, he could take over a little bit. Give him some opportunities, you know, pin, let him run baseline, get some rubs. They go a little bit of a zone. They flash and look pretty well. Lawson in the beginning, right here, he's a great passer, this kid.
Lawson over the outstretched arm of Evans, and Culver able to clear for the Red Raiders.
Nice sprinkle coming out of the timeout. Shake him up a little bit.
Culver 4 of 15 from the field if you've just joined us. 0 of 4 in the second half.
Look at Dotson.
Had his pocket picked. Here comes Dotson. No one back.
Unbelievable. Gritty. Determined.
Now you think of all the great point guards that have come through this program. Certainly in recent years, Frank Mason comes to mind.
He was tough. Chambers, Sharon Collins. I mean, Bill's had some. And that's what he's got to do more of. Get that little angle and blow by.
First points and field goal in the second half for Jared Culver. Kid who grew up in Lubbock, right in the shadows of that Texas Tech campus. Just hasn't had it so far today. Dotson kind of out of sorts, but he is bumped.
And will shoot free throws.
Well, he keeps on ticking, though. He's not afraid to get hit and just always in the way, helping his partner out. And you're avoiding the traffic, too, and able to finish it. Just the toughness about him.
You know, Raf, we've touched on the struggles for Kansas. Started the season as the preseason AP #1 ranked team in the country. We're alternating 1 and 2 first 7-8 weeks of the season. The big news, obviously, yesterday with DeSouza ruled ineligible for the rest of the season. Huge loss with Azubuike. Today, they have figured something out, at least for one game, with this 2-game losing streak. Kind of staring at them in the face.
And they were tough early, too. Marquette, Tennessee, you mentioned, Villanova. But there was a resolve yesterday, don't you think? I just felt that Bill had some time with him, got after him. And, boy, they responded, particularly on this end.
Mooney, a pump fake, going glass.
You can shoot it, you can own the guy.
Fourth field goal from Mooney.
It's almost like an ISO here on that foul line for Lawson. I think he could drive his guy. Now they got the switch they wanted. Lawson at the rim for rebounding or pass.
Vic and Lawson getting the bounce, and that's the kind of game it's been for Kansas.
That's how smart this kid is, though. Just makes himself available. Knows the mismatch with Mooney right there. Gets in position to dominate. Gets it with a chance for 3. And Vic, some juice with this team.
As you look at their roster, Bill, the stat sheet, everyone's played well. Vic with the scoring and now the distribution in the second half. And Lawson's been incredible. Let's go back to Seth.
You guys mentioned the ruling that came yesterday with Sylvia DeSouza. That's an eligibility issue with the player. The larger question now for Kansas is there an enforcement issue with the school now that everyone has acknowledged that last year they used essentially an ineligible player? It opens up the question of penalties against the program, which could include vacating the games in which DeSouza played, and that does include last year's Final Four. That question is not going to come for a long while, but the answer won't come for a long while, but the question is going to linger for quite some time, guys.
Boy, it's not pretty, is it, Seth? The whole determination.
That FBI probe that has hung over the sport like a black cloud continues, but you certainly have to feel for that young man, DeSouza, as he looks on from that KU bench. Here's Dotson from deep. Everything going his way.
He's not a pure point guard, but he is learning on the run. You know he can do that. Look at him helping his partners, playing his guy.
Little hesitation play by Edwards. Couldn't put it down, and here comes Agbaji. This is Vic.
Bring the house down if that goes in.
Raf, how about this atmosphere?
Oh, I love it.
Incredible.
I really do. It's so special coming here. The history and success of this program.
Place really is a monument to this sport. And these fans have brought it so far.
Naismith and I were contemporaries, so we go way back. Of course, Phog Allen, Ted Owens, Larry Brown winning in '88, and this kid here is a winner. Just a real ticker. Push, works hard.
Okay, Agbaji.
So here is Agbaji at the free throw line. First of 2 free throws. You know, Raf, you mentioned Phog Allen. We went back into the annals of Kansas basketball and take a closer little look here. Back row.
I was looking for Dean Smith up front here. Look at that. How about that? Unbelievable. I never got any
Your
minutes
career
either.
goes back even longer,
Incredible.
further back than I thought.
Roy used to go by the cemetery. Hit the stone, the cornerstone of Naismith. Amazing.
This is where it all started as Odiasi doubled up on the box. Outside Owens, that's a 3-pointer, no. And Lawson clears for the Jayhawks. Dedrick Lawson now 15 double-doubles on the season, second most in the country.
Nice dive. Oh, didn't finish, but not a bad look, Grimes. Good touch pass and just understands where to go, when to go. Dedrick, big-time performer.
Lawson, only kid in the conference who averages a double-double. And it wasn't easy for him right at the start. Had some growing pains with Bill Self. That altercation in practice. They left him home with that trip that the team made in the offseason to Italy. But look at what he's done this season as he has really settled into the role here of being the face of this KU program.
Boy, he sure is a solid performer. Really understands, and at a coach's level, what the game is all about. Shayak of Iowa State reminds me a little of him too. He's having a great year, as that team is.
They showed you something today?
Yeah, yes, very much so. Looks like they're back and concentrating. But as the knockshot, Baylor is the one that's shocking. Playing smaller, Clark being out, Lindsey being out. It's like just hanging tough. They got a tough end of the season schedule, though, playing all the major domos.
Josh Mbala has checked in first time today, a freshman for Chris Beard, as they start to empty their benches.
Wow. Dotson, and that matches his career high with 17 points.
I think Kansas next week goes to Kansas State, right? So that's going to be a tough match.
Three-pointer from Mooney, short.
Barry Brown goes way back. That's really helpful.
Well, I beg your pardon. That last three gives Dotson 20, so a new career high for the freshman.
Nice cross.
Here comes Grimes, a little crossover maneuver, knocked out of bounds underneath with 19 to shoot.
Well, Charlotte light it up here in Lawrence, and why not? He's usually the giver. This time he's the taker, and why not the nylon from deep in the corner, the little guy. People are leaving already, huh?
Yep.
Beat the crowd. Lapa. I think the die is cast, yeah.
Is there a card? We got a card, Mark. We're promoting Nevada. Okay. Okay. Yep.
Thank you, sir. Not that we need it now, but this is what the good Dotson's numbers are. 4 assists, 4 turnovers.
Culver.
Yeah.
Tonight at 6 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, it'll be 8th-ranked Nevada, hoping that they won't need any more last-second heroics. And a rematch with upset-minded Boise State, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Andrew Catalan, Steve Lapis will have the call there. And we have the great privilege of going to some of the terrific venues around the country. This is right at the top of the list. All the history, all the incredible historic players and coaches that have come through this program in Lawrence. And this was exactly the kind of performance that Bill Self and his staff were hoping for. A team that had lost 2 straight, 1-3 stretch.
What a good look. Excuse me. You're right. I think his little meeting and gathering of the troops and the hard practice. This guy, all about winning. It's such an elite program too, and the demands on these kids each and every day. Everybody's going to give them their best shot.
Josh Mballa, freshman at the free throw line. Raph, you just trying to think about what Self and his staff have accomplished. The 14 straight Big 12 conference championships. They, of course, snapped the all-time NCAA record of UCLA, 13 straight league titles.
Right.
And it seems like we've been here before. Now, are they vulnerable? Could this be the year that
wasn't
the thing
last
ends?
Year? They were a couple behind late in the season and went on a run.
2 years ago, 2016, they were kind of struggling at the early stage of conference play. He just always seems to find the right mix, and something that Chris Beard alluded to yesterday. So much respect for what Self has done.
They're having a conversation over there, Chris and Bill. That's amazing. They're in the game. They're chatting.
Well, 2 of the more colorful personalities that we have in the sport. Well, just how far can this KU team go? After going to the Final Four last year, their dream coming to an end against the eventual champs, Villanova.
Well, Texas Tech actually played Villanova better than Kansas did.
That's right. Tech with that run to the Elite Eight, farthest they've ever been in their program history. This is Edwards going glass. Mballa was there. Back comes Grimes. Kicks out. Dotson. Rare miss for the young man.
The one thing about Chris Beard, if they play with this kind of energy, that the rest of the year they're going to be fine. The first half they just weren't as thorough, didn't respond defensively with the consistency that I'm sure he demands and they expect.
So Mballa will step back to the free throw line. Dedrick Lawson, meantime, has fouled out, gets a well-deserved standing ovation, as now both head coaches will start to empty their bench.
Well, they appreciate great play. And there's, in a sense, the head. You know, Dotson runs the show. Dedrick understands what has to be done, how to do it, how to go about it.
25 points and 10 rebounds. 51st career double-double for Lawson. So both teams giving some of their second, third stringers a chance. Your game reset, 2:17 mark. I thought maybe Tech would get back into this game, had cut a 20-point halftime deficit down to 12 early stages of the second half, but just too much of the Jayhawks down the stretch.
Right. They're just too much on top of their game. They want the guys to shoot it.
Three-pointer from Chris T and won't go, and then last touched out of bounds by Kansas.
That's a famous name here. Brother was a performer. They work just as hard as the guys who get the accolades, the Hurl performers, to make the team better.
This is Mballa. And more free throws coming up. Raph, this will happen to a team. You would take one on the chin. How do you respond if you're Chris Beard and the Red Raiders next couple of weeks?
I think they'll be fine, judging by what they did this second half. I know you touched that they made a little bit of a run. Well, they've got everybody going in the game.
Garrett Lewinstra, last Jayhawk to check in. Out of Lightfoot with under 2 minutes to play in this second half.
They're expected to run the same stuff.
There's Benson off the steal, and he lays it up and in for Tech.
I like their bench too, responded over there on Texas Tech.
The other thing about this conference, it is really a bloodbath. There are no days off in the Big 12 this year, as deep as we've seen it in a long, long time. That's teeing from deep.
And I saw the note where there's all 10 teams are in the top 104 of the net, the NET, the evaluation for postseason play. So it's a 5-point lead. Everything's going to be tough. White knuckle.
Terrific effort by both teams. That is Edwards on a three-pointer. Every team in the conference has at least 2 losses. That was the good news for the Jayhawks, who entered the day in the midst of this 1-3 stretch. And so their 2-game losing streak is just seconds away from coming to an end.
And every night you better lace them up. As we noted, they got to go to K-State. Coach Weber doing a heck of a job with that team. Nobody expected them, Baylor, to be up top. Long way to go, as you noted.
Three-pointer from Andrew Sorrells, no good. And we've come down to the final 25 seconds. So Kansas will avoid its first 3-game losing streak in 6 years. They'll get to 6-3 in conference play. And Texas Tech, meantime, will see their little mini 2-game run come to an end, as Chris Beard's bunch will fall to 5-4 in the Big 12.
Lace them up, baby. Nothing going to be easy in this league.
Still 2.3 remaining. Just an incredible crowd. Atmosphere that is second to none in college basketball, as Chris Beard and his Texas Tech Red Raiders just did not have the answers. 79-63 as Kansas gets to 17-5 overall. Updated look at the standings in the Big 12. No off nights, not in this conference this season. K-State, Baylor at the top. And anyone's guess what happens over the final couple of months of the regular season. Now for Bill Raftery, Seth Davis, Spiro Ditas saying so long.